That poor pizza. I mean, you know, it'll get better, but let's see. Timer 14 minutes. There we go. Hello everyone and welcome to Sunday. So that pizza's strange and misshapen because it was in the box in the freezer upright, and then of course things started to thaw because we were without power for 15 hours, and then it refroze. So it's got that weird shape. And you said you took a look at the ice cream?
Because we have the 2-pack from Costco.
Yeah.
I opened the one that we had open, and there was really only like a cup of ice cream left in there. And I thought it would have like melted flat.
Yeah.
It hadn't. It was still kind of like up to the side.
Oh, okay.
So the freezer is like 24 to 48 based on how full the freezer is. Mm-hmm. And it was less than even 24, so we think the freezer's fine. But the ice cream was a good tell.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I mean, the thing is, if I would have known.
Oh yeah,
we would have taken precautions, you know, like, because one of the things that you can do is you can get a bunch of ice and you can put ice in the freezer or ice in the fridge or any of these things to keep things cooler. And I honestly did not think we were going to lose power for 15 hours. That was a long time. But
this morning there's still people without power.
Yeah, but it makes sense now that I've thought about it, because Raleigh is a city of oaks. There are trees everywhere. It is a very wooded city. And as a result, it doesn't take a whole lot for one of those trees or a branch or whatever to interfere with a power line. And then you're kind of screwed. So yeah, it actually makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. So even though the wind and the rain and everything, and like any potential flooding or anything wasn't really bad here at all, this is a good indicator of what we would deal with in a hurricane that does come our way, since this was an example of a Cat 1 that did end up coming up our way. We don't have to deal with the storm in a very direct sense, but because there are so many trees, we can expect probably to lose power, which sort of sucks. But it's fine. It's totally fine. That's not really a problem that we had in Myrtle Beach because there was less trees. But here, lots of trees, so kind of a problem. So anyway, it is Sunday. We tried to actually get some good rest. One of the things that I've done recently is we were having issues. This was months and months and months ago. We were having issues with Kepler waking us up, and we solved them by giving him dry food at 5:30 a.m. And that basically solved the problem. We set his feeder to go off. Actually, isn't that why we bought the feeder in the first place?
Yeah, it is.
That's why we bought the feeder in the first place. It goes off at 5:30 a.m. and it gives him just enough food to get through the night. It doesn't bother us. Great. Wonderful. One of the recent problems that we've had is that if we get in bed late and we're not getting up like right early when we would want to get up, Kep will wake us up. Kep has been waking me up pretty consistently between like 7:30 and 7:40 a.m. And that's fine if I'm waking up at 8, if my alarm was set for 8. But if I'm sleeping for any longer time, and lately I've been busy and I haven't been able to get the sleep that I've really needed, that's bad, because then he wakes me up and I have to try and get him to leave me alone because he's not really supposed to eat until later. And finally, I solved this problem by setting a second thing to go off at 7:30. And that seems to have solved my new problem. So now he gets a scoop at 5:30 and a scoop at 7:30.
Big change.
Which is, you know, it's not a big deal because, like, I can adjust, and that's what I've done, is I've adjusted his food elsewhere in the day, so he's still getting the same amount of food. I'm just stacking it a little more at the front because that's when I sleep. Kep is a cat, and he can sleep whenever he wants, wherever he wants. I can't do that, Kep. I need to sleep in the morning. So, you know, I've done that for, I think, 2 or 3 days, and well, no, it was a little before that, right? Because we just lost power. So I've done it for a few days, and it's been going well so far. So I'm hopeful that will continue, right? Because I love you very much, but man, when you wake me up, I'm like, please, God, I just want to sleep.
Do not pick me up.
I just want to sleep.
Do not pick up.
Anyway, I just finished recording and releasing the Patreon video. I do a Patreon video every month for patrons. And it was wild. It's probably one of the one of the ones filled with like the most biggest information. And I just finished it up, and I was like, God, I'm so hungry. I need to eat something. So I'm glad that we've got a pizza going. I am looking forward to all of the things that I talked about in the video transpiring here in the next month or two. So everyone else, sit tight, get excited, because man, there's a lot coming up. It does mean, as you may suspect, that my October is actually going to be quite busy. As we head into this month, I am excited because it means, some really good things, really exciting things, especially leading up ultimately at the end of the month to Extra Life, which is on October 29th. Please mark it on your calendars. So I'm looking forward to all that, but the road to get there is going to be very busy. You're going to see a lot of stuff happening around here. So fun stuff. It's not that it's not good. It's good stuff. It's just there's a lot of stuff during I think what would already be like a somewhat stressful time. So wrapping all of that up is like, man, we really gotta do our best to get through October. And to a degree, I feel like I might be holding on for dear life just a little bit. But fun! Anyway, I'm going to end it here. I know that it's short, but after dinner, I have to return and get a bunch of other stuff done. I have to try very, very hard to keep things up to date as best I can because there's so much going on this month. So stick with me and be as understanding as possible if things aren't up to date. I'm trying, I promise. There's just things going on in the background. And one of the newest things is I'm also balancing in some sort of social life since we've been hanging out with Alex and Haley and doing things like that, and that's just a new experience as well. I'll get the hang of it eventually. Let's meet back tomorrow, shall we?